Hey everyone. Aha! Whew. All right, episode 83.
Oh,
Like 32?
32.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. We on 83.
Yes,
Let me stop
83.
playing. But we are 83.
83. 83. We here. How is everyone doing? I know we keep changing up the spots. I know. But we trying to figure it out. Okay? Trying to figure it out. But welcome everybody.
Welcome. Let me stop
Welcome.
playing. Telling everybody we live.
Yes, we're just sending out the notifications to everybody right now, y'all. So just stick
Happy
tight.
Sunday.
Yes, happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of the 21 Titles Weekly Recap. We are 21 Titles. I am Brittany, and this is my lovely host.
Okay.
And together, we do this for the community. So essentially, 21 Titles is a consultancy firm that creates equity through community and collaboration. And through our community segment, we like to host these weekly lives to basically keep our community in the know about what are some of our favorite headlines in basically the business of sports. So sports news, NIL, brand deal news, business news, and then kind of culture. So music, art, film, fashion, or food. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people may know. I'm a big health and wellness enthusiast, so we like to talk about food and talk about health as well. So Chantee is also an IP attorney. That's why we talk about mostly business and sports, because she has the intel and the intellect to break stuff down for us in ways that we can understand. So shout out to Chantee for her service of becoming a lawyer and, passing that ball. So
I was about to start playing. But thank you.
so without further ado, we're gonna start with some college hoops.
College hoops. There was a lot of college hoops today, but we're gonna focus on what we got on the thumbnail, and that is Notre Dame. Notre Dame played UConn this past week. Um, and they beat UConn
I see that picture.
79-68. Yeah. And on Twitter, we saw a lot of people, they had the shirt over
Yeah, I
Jewel
wish I
Lloyd,
had that one there too. Yeah.
Jewel Lloyd, Neil Ivy, and Skylar talking about this is our get along shirt. So if you don't know, last week we reported that um was it last week or the week before that? The expansion draft. The weeks are just flying by, but
Yeah, the week
when they
before
expand,
that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, with the expansion draft, no one from Seattle Storm, the Seattle Storm was selected. In addition to that, um, we found out that the investigation that happened in Seattle ended with um nothing being found.
Right.
Right. So um Jewel Lloyd immediately requested a trade. Um and so that's why we saw a bunch of people having the putting the this is our get along shirt because of what's happening in Seattle, and then specifically um what's been happening with Skylar and Jewel Lloyd. But they both were in attendance at the game. Obviously, all four of these amazing players that we have on our thumbnail were at the game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think, first of all, it's important to note that Notre Dame has a rich history of producing some of the best guards
Correct.
that we have seen in the W.
You are
They have a
correct in
rich,
saying that.
yeah, from Muffy to Neil. They just
Mm-hmm.
they produce great players, and Notre Dame has a rivalry with UConn. So that game was a really big game, which is why they showed up. And like I mentioned, Notre Dame beat UConn 79-68. AZ Flood did not play that game. What else happened in that game? We saw that Olivia Miles got injured during that game, her ankle. But she still showed up big. She ended with 16 points. Leah King really was the X factor of the game. You saw her just jumping over everybody literally to get rebounds. I mean, she's just super athletic.
Facts.
With 16 points, 12 rebounds. I was looking forward to her matchup against Sarah Strong. Sarah Strong definitely was in foul trouble throughout the game. So there's times that when Sarah wasn't in, Leah King was getting to it. But Sarah Strong also ended with 14 points, 7 rebounds. Again, she was in foul trouble. Ice Brittany and I was talking about this offline. She got to do more.
Yeah.
She got to do more. Sometimes she's just a body on the court. I'm not going to lie.
Sometimes she just running up and down getting cardio.
Yeah, and I know I feel like your dad said something about Ice Brady before.
Yes.
Yeah. Expected more from her, but she didn't. I mean, granted, it's still early in the season, but she needs to produce more. And
Facts.
Caitlin Chen, she had a decent game. She had 11 points. Paige Beckers ended with 25. I personally feel like it was a quiet 20. Dare I say it was a quiet 25, at least in my opinion. She shot 11 for 20, went 0 for 4 at the 3. And KK Arnold also stepped up off the bench. She ended with 10 points. What I will say is, it's not even I think, UConn doesn't have the offensive toolbox that Notre Dame has. And like I said, Paige stepped up. Sarah was in foul trouble. So it was like, who's gonna step up now?
Right.
We've seen Ashlyn Shade step up before, but she was non-existent this game. She didn't score any points this game. She was 0 for 5 from the field. More people got to step up, and I think that's why I'm talking about Ice Brady.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to score a tremendous amount of points, you got to get on the boards. And Notre Dame was controlling the boards throughout the game. That's something else. And that's why I feel like I'm not being hard on Ice Brady. She needs to do more. She needs to do more for that team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you are wrong. Ice Brady has been on this team. What is she, a sophomore now? She's been on the team for a couple of years now, maybe a redshirt sophomore. And she has to show up. Like, if Paige is not producing, if Sarah's having a tough, run at things, Ice Brady, we expecting you to pick up the slack. She's left-handed too, so she got one of them, them nice games. Like, she can spot up, right? Pump fake, go to the basket. Like, Ice Brady, show us something. Like, show up when it matters. And that's the thing too, y'all. Y'all seen how Hannah Hidalgo showed up? You should show up like this for every game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just giving an example for young student athletes. How Hannah Hidalgo shows up for this game is how she shows up for the other games too. Like, she don't just show up for the big game. She shows up for all of the games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Liatu King, like Chantee mentioned, she was one of our talented transfers to look at, to watch. I literally watched this young lady at Pittsburgh last year dominate. Okay. She was at Pittsburgh being the unsung hero. Okay. and you could tell on the court, Liatu, to me, she like Dennis Rodman, dog. Like she going to do anything necessary to get the ball. Do y'all realize Liatu King was a star player on the Pittsburgh Panthers last year, and she's come to this team and has deferred to another role and is still very impactful? Do you know how difficult that is to do as an athlete?
Yeah, if you don't know how to put your pride to the side and come, yeah, and that speaks to just her maturity as a player,
Come
right?
on.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Come on.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We've spoken about, and that's no shade to certain transfers, but we've talked about some transfers that have been having a hard time in transitioning into new roles on new teams, and she has just seamlessly transitioned onto this team.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And y'all forgetting Maddie Westbelt is still hurt.
Correct.
Right? She got a foot injury. That's the other big guard that they got. Okay? So, like, Notre Dame, yeah, they definitely... I had UConn upsetting Notre Dame, but UConn ain't look too... They ain't look too tapped in.
UConn was turning the ball over in the... I'm like, oh,
crazy.
I'm with you, because we had this conversation. I thought that, Notre Dame, from what we've seen in these first couple of games, they do know how to blow leads. It seems like that, they know how to blow leads. So I was really banking on UConn's maturity. No. I was surprised, but Notre Dame is a contender, a true contender.
They are.
Speaking of Hannah Hidalgo, she finished with 29 and 10 rebounds. 29 and 10 rebounds.
Do y'all realize she's 5'6"?
Right. It's just she's tenacious. That's all that is.
5'6". Yes, Spin Dark. Notre Dame was super efficient. Yes, Hannah played like a monster. Yes, she did.
She did. Olivia Miles, she still, like I said, still ended up with 16 points. Like, they had really balanced scoring from the big, quote unquote, big three.
X.
Well, the big three changes all the time with Notre Dame. You don't know. I mean, outside of Hannah and then Olivia, like we just talked about, you got Leah too. You have Sonia.
Yep. Yes.
It's balanced scoring, and they out rebounded UConn. So yeah, and then we heard what Gino had to say about their backcourt and basically them having an outstanding backcourt with Olivia and Hannah. It's something he hasn't seen.
Yeah. You got two playmakers in the backcourt like that is insane. Like, to have one person, like, think about it. You remember last year when Rory Harmon went down for Texas? Like, that was a big blow for them. And then they had to move Madison Booker to the point guard position. Like, that is not her natural position. Like, it is tough to replace a point guard. It's tough to replace ball handlers. So the fact that Notre Dame has two, yeah, tough.
Yeah, they tough. So, that was really the highlight of the week, at least in my opinion, in regards to college hoops. There was plenty of college hoops that happened, but a lot of talk really because of, obviously, like we talked about, those that were in attendance, and then also just the rivalry between the two. So, shouts to Notre Dame.
Facts. They are Final Four team.
Yeah. I saw people giving Lauren a hard time about that.
Yeah, because people on the internet, they don't watch basketball.
Yeah.
They don't watch basketball like Lauren watches basketball. Like, yes. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, moving on. We're gonna get into the business of sports, and since it's practically the end of the year, we are walking into 2025, which is crazy because this year went by so fast and so much has happened,
Sure.
especially in the WNBA and just women's basketball, period,
Mm-hmm.
that we thought it was important to highlight all the great things that happened throughout each month of this year. Um, because, like I just said, it went by so fast, everything is a blur. But this was really an historical year for women's hoops all around.
Yeah.
And so we're going to start from January. So in January, the NCAA announced an 8-year, $920 million deal with ESPN to broadcast 40 championships, including women's basketball. At the time, it valued the women's tournament at $65 million per year. Then in February, we had Sabrina Ionescu compete against Stephen Curry in the three-point contest at NBA All-Star Weekend. That seems so long ago,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
Um, and that the viewership was high. We was at 5.4 million viewers.
Mm.
Um, in March, all five NCAA conference tournaments saw attendance and viewership boost, including the first sellout of the Big Ten tournament 2 weeks before the event. Millions of viewers tuned into multiple conference title games. In April, the Women's March Madness final outdrew the men's championship for the first time in history, with 18.9 million viewers on ABC and ESPN. The South Carolina win over Iowa was the largest audience for a women's college basketball game, a record broken just days earlier in the Elite Eight and Final Four. Also, the WNBA draft averaged 2.45 million viewers in the largest league telecast since 2000. The moment signaled the new crop of women's basketball fans that would indeed spill over into the WNBA. In May, Kathy Engelbert announced league-wide charter flights, which we all were like hype about. Um, and also, she also announced that Toronto was going to be the next expansion team. In June, the Indiana Fever surpassed their total 2023 home attendance in just 5 games. So ticket sales were out of control.
Mm.
In July, the WNBA agreed to an $2.2 billion media rights deal with ESPN, Amazon, and NBC to begin in the 2026 season. If you don't know, that deal brings forth an annual media cash flow from 60 million to 200 million, with the potential to go even higher. Also, the WNBA All-Star game between Team USA and Team WNBA drew 3.44 million viewers, which remains the league's third most highest watched game of all time. In August, Paige Beckers and Unrivaled announced an NIL deal making the UConn star the first college athlete to receive equity. And then last week we reported that Florget, also obtained some equity last week. In September, the WNBA announced Portland as the 15th franchise. In October, we had a lot going on. Rival and TNT Sports unveiled a multi-year media deal for an undisclosed amount. The WNBA Finals drew its best average attendance ever and largest single-game TV audience of the 2000s. Um, and then the Women's National Basketball Players Association opted out of its collective bargaining agreement. So it was a lot going on in October. November, women's college basketball season began its first season since major conference realignment, which dismantled the sport's West Coast powerhouse of the Pac-12, which I do miss. So the Pac-12 is no more. And then in December, which is this month, the Valkyries chose their first 11 players in the WNBA's first expansion draft since 2008. A lot happened. A lot of beautiful things happened this year. Again, it went by super fast. but so much growth has transpired over the year. In 2025, it's really up. It's gonna continue to get crazy. Um, and I'm looking forward to talking about it. But this year was a historical year. Oh, we can't hear you, Britt.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But for like our second season covering the WNBA, for it to be a historic season like this, like we're gonna look back and be like, yo, this was a turning point. This was the year that the WNBA like turned it up. Like really, really turned it up. Okay.
Everything was up. College, because I think it went by so fast. Like Angel Reese and Caitlin, all those people, like all those seniors and all those that
Mm-hmm.
left, immediately started the WNBA right
Right.
away. All of that was bang, 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 bang,
Yeah.
bang, and now we're back here. So yeah, no, like you said, I think this is going to go down as one of the most historical years in women's college hoops and WNBA hoops. A lot has happened. A lot. So very excited about 2025. Very excited to continue to let y'all know all of the ins and outs, especially with the business side, because between our rivals and then
Right.
all of the partnerships that are probably gonna, it's not even probably, that are gonna come forth in 2025 for the W is gonna be out of control. So yeah, that was 2024 in a nutshell.
Yeah. Great job.
Hmm.
Love that. Moving along. Unrivaled just keeps coming out and showing us that their front office is getting it done. Okay.
Hmm.
This past week, Unrivaled announced that they have secured Under Armour as its uniform partner. They just keep giving bombshell after bombshell. Like the TNT deal, like they just keep rolling. I love this. Okay, so
Yeah.
Unrivaled has secured Under Armour as its official uniform partner and outfitter as part of an exclusive multi-year deal that will put players, coaches, and staff in the company's performance apparel. The arrangement will have players wearing Under Armour game uniforms for Unrivaled's debut season, okay, as well as clothing and accessories for on and off-court training. Players can also customize Under Armour's premium products. And if they are not under contract to another shoe company, will have access to Under Armour's portfolio of basketball footwear. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yo,
Yo, hold on. Let me keep going.
that's what I'm saying.
Let me
Like,
keep.
this is really big. I don't think people understand that. This is a new league. This is a
Right.
brand new league. Like,
They haven't even played one game yet. You know what it
no.
usually happens? Like, usually what happens when it comes to women's sports, we have to, like, show that we, like, deserve investments. Like, we have to show it on the court and do it. But Fee and Stewie telling people, nah, I need y'all to put your money up now because we already know we're going to deliver a great product, dog. Like, the partnership was negotiated in-house between Unrivaled president Alex Basil and Under Armour's Tamzin Barahat. Jeez, I'm sorry, I butchered that name. With advisement from Horizon Sports and Experiences and its CEO, David Levy, along with Excel Sports Management. Okay, so we got a couple of other players that helped negotiate the deal here. Y'all need to hire 21 Titles to come in. I'm sorry. I love this, but yeah, can we? All right. In addition, Unrivaled and Under Armour will collaborate to host community events and a youth development camp powered by Under Armour's grassroots platform, UA Next. Unrivaled coaches will lead the developmental program, while unrivaled players will have the option of volunteering. This right here has been years of work. To have all of this, whoever, Alex Basil, yes, thank you. Thank you. Because usually when it comes to partnerships like this, like, first and foremost, I love that it's a multi-year deal, like multi-years. Let's lock us in, because let's lock it in. And the fact that they are offering anybody who doesn't have an Under Armour sponsorship access to footwear and access to customizing premium products, that's fire. Give me gear. Give me my salary.
They doing it big. Then I saw you can stream it now on HBO Max. I also saw that. Like, they doing a lot. And I think, again, we just talked about the growth of this year, and this is the benefit of the product showing up. It's a trickle-down effect. It's a domino effect. You know,
Right.
It's been a great year for women's hoops, period. I don't know how many partnerships have been announced and that we've talked about, but it's been a large amount of partnerships. At this point, businesses would be silly not to partner with anybody in the WNBA, whether that be an athlete, a single athlete, the athletes, or a team.
Right.
These big brands would be silly not to do it. So I can't say that I'm surprised with Under Armour, but I love what they're doing, and I love that they decided to partner with Unrivaled, and I love the fact that they're keeping some sector of grassroots also tied to this.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Because Unrivaled is happening in Florida. So interested in seeing what activations they come up with while there. And then we also announced previously that Unrivaled may be taking Unrivaled on the road. Like, they may be expanding to different cities. So again, looking forward to seeing how they create those activations, first starting out in Florida, and then maybe how they bring that around, over the span of the country.
Yeah.
To wherever they go. But yeah, I can't say that I'm surprised, but I think that it's fire. I think that is dope. Rivals doing great things. Like, we already talked about. Go ahead.
No, I just really love the community aspect, because usually these they forget stuff like that. Like, throw the camps. Like, we need to see camps being thrown, like, for the youth locally. Like, do it. I love this. There's like thought and intention behind what they're doing. So I love it.
Yep. So shouts to Unrivaled. We already reported, but I saw it circulating before about the salary. Salary is about $242,000. That's something that has been reported previously, but if you didn't know, that is what the average salary is right now for the players in Unrivaled. And that $242,000 does not include the equity or revenue sharing that they are also going to get. It's in addition to that. So that's important to also highlight.
Yeah. Additional. Okay.
Yeah.
Additional.
Tack that on. Yeah. Tack that on. Tack that on. So I love it. Shouts to Unrivaled. And we'll keep y'all posted about that.
Yeah, yo.
Moving on. I'm excited about this. Very excited. Sad, but excited.
Right.
CNN announced this week a 3-part series for Kobe Bryant. It's going to be titled Kobe, The Making of a Legend. It's actually going to be debuting January 25th, and it's going to show just unreleased footage. And it's going to be in honor of his 5-year anniversary of his passing. So
Yeah, I mean,
it was hard. It's gonna be tough to watch, but I'm expecting it to be inspiring nonetheless. Because
yeah.
it's Kobe. It's Kobe.
Um, I just want to know, like, I know it's debuting January 25th. Like, he died on the 26th. So, like, um, couldn't they just put it on the 26th to, like, commemorate him?
That's a good question.
But I guess they wanted to do it. It's a
Well,
three-part
yeah, I'm about to
series.
say it's every Saturday.
Right, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be for the next 3 Saturdays. But no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's just unreal to me that he's still not here. Like, him and Gianna.
Right.
Like, I look forward to it though. Kobe just influenced so many people. Like, it's his his impact is just
Mm-hmm.
undeniable. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Same. Same. So on a lighter note, Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter. Yo, Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter are among 10 limited partners who have joined the Buffalo Bills ownership group. So
Yeah.
this is fire. If you don't know, like limited partners, like yeah, limited partners can provide money, um, and invest in a company or corporation, which is what they're doing. But limited partners don't have say in like day-to-day happenings of a company or
Mm,
corporation. So they're literally just investors. They're investing in the Buffalo Bills. They're limited partners. This is fire though, because again, Brittany and I are always talking about the transition. And I love what they're doing. I feel like we just reported on Vince and Tracy McGrady on another venture
right.
that they have happening and going on. Those two just seem to be moving along together in different circles and finding ways to create revenue and generate revenue for themselves. So I absolutely love this.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we talk about. This is it right here. This is
Yeah, this is
beyond,
fire.
beyond.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
beyond the
fire.
court, okay? And let me just add also too, one of the other 10, Josie Altador, is a soccer player, okay? He's another professional athlete that's becoming a part of the ownership group, which is important to highlight, okay? You are going to this is a trend that's on an uptick because it's time. Athletes becoming investors. Athletes are also investors. Say it with me. Athletes are also investors. Okay? Like, we got to get the delusion. Investing is how we make money. Investing is how we grow our money. These other owners be owners for decades. How long Jerry Jones done been the owner for the Cowboys?
I don't even know, but it's been that long.
Right. And this also too, this is a lesson for our community. Hold. Why do we have such a hard time holding? It doesn't make any sense to me. These owners holding these teams for years and then they cash out when they sell it. That's holding. What's the difference between you opening up a brokerage account and holding a stock? What's the difference? Nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing, okay? So I'm very happy to see Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and Josie Altador. Like, this is big, dog. This is big. I really love this. And
That's a good question.
I need to see more athletes step up to the plate and become investors. Hold on. There's a question.
That was a great question. Wow. Is there any way the public can invest in Unrivaled? Is there a limited partner opportunity there? I'm so bullish on women's basketball. That's a great question. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if they are if they're open to I don't know. But that's a
Right.
good question because now I'm gonna look.
Right.
Now I'm gonna look. Thanks, Doc. But yeah, I don't know. But that is a great question. And if they don't now, maybe, you know, down the line they will, depending
Mm-hmm.
on how, you know, how they do within the next within those first few years.
Right. Right. Because we
But now I'm
know.
gonna go look. Now I'm gonna go look, Doc.
Right. This is a great question.
No, that is. Because I am not sure. I'm like trying to Google now. But yeah, no, this is fire. Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter, and congratulations to them. On another note, you know, Shaq was talking greasy about women's hoops and like what they got to do to get the viewership up, but it's sick because NBA ratings are down. So,
Right.
but NBA ratings have dropped 48% since 2012, down 28% this year alone on ESPN. That's all I got.
Maybe I should put some shorts back on.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. They trying to do so much to get the NBA ratings back up. It's like from the nasty courts that y'all got for this NBA Cup, like y'all need to get somebody to design good courts. Like them courts is trash. I'm gonna be honest. The NBA Cup courts, whack. Those are whack. Maybe I should get better designers to do that. The way that you're about to readjust the NBA All-Star game, the format, I don't know. Maybe we need a new commissioner. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the NBA, but the NBA should not be negotiating no deals for the WNBA. I'm gonna be honest. It's like, don't be negotiating on my behalf.
No, that's a good point because that's a great point, right? Because we've already said the 2.2 billion was too low.
Low ball.
It was low ball in the WNBA.
Yeah.
But now, no, that's a great point because now it's like you see the numbers with the NBA, and if they have, I don't want to be a part of that because we have uptick, y'all on the down.
Come on.
I don't want you to. That's a great point.
First and foremost, right now, if I'm the WNBA, I'm eyeing whoever is a part of the Unrivaled front office, bro. Like, I'm eyeing the marketing. I'm eyeing the marketing team. I'm eyeing the people I'm eyeing everybody. Operations. I'm eyeing it. Everybody,
and
come on.
It would be in their best interest because they moving,
bro. Okay, but yeah, NBA.
That's a good point, though.
I don't want you negotiating on my back.
Yeah, I don't want you to do that. No. I don't want you to do that. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. I was about to say press to all parties involved. Stop playing around. Moving on, Coco Gauff. Shouts to Coco Gauff. She became the third woman in sports to earn more than $30 million in a given year.
Crazy.
After Naomi Osaka and Serena Williams. Per Complex Sports.
30 million?
30 M's.
We was just talking about how Otani got 17 M's stolen from him, right?
Don't get me started because I was really taken aback. Like, whoa.
Yo, 30 M's in a year? That's pretty good, dog. A lot of people ain't gonna see that in their lifetime.
No. And she deserves it. Like,
she do.
She does what she needs to do. And then also she's super marketable.
That's a fact.
Very marketable.
And she also advocates for herself because there's been plenty of times where she had to go at the umpire, the official. Like that Coco's reaction to the umpires, by far, I've seen it more times with her than I've ever seen watching tennis. Like, I've never seen, the only person I've seen before
Serena.
that was Serena.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Serena fend for herself. Coco has done it multiple times already.
Rightfully so, too.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. But she's very deserving. And we both wanted to congratulate Coco. Because that's a big deal. So we love to see it.
Facts, Coco. That's fire. Fire.
And that is all we have for sports news. That's all we have for sports news.
Before we move on to NIL, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, everyone who's been tuning in with us for the past 41 minutes now. We would just ask that you please this is a small favor. Please just follow us on social media. We are on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We getting our Facebook right because, but please make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. And we'll continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into NIL news / college sports news. SeatGeek. I've been seeing SeatGeek everywhere. Like during games, everywhere. SeatGeek inks NIL deals with multiple college football playoff-bound players. That was announced this week. They signed Ohio State linebacker C.J. Hicks, Georgia linebacker C.J. Allen, Texas safety Michael Taffay, and Penn State quarterback Boo Freebula. They're all part of the initiative. And Learfield, which I feel like we've reported on them way back when, they actually facilitated these deals and the terms were not revealed. Each player will receive his own custom discount code, giving fans up to 10% off tickets, up to $25. And the athletes will promote their custom promo codes on their respective Instagram, TikTok accounts. When I'm interested in TikTok, it may be over for TikTok.
Word?
You didn't see that? Yeah, like TikTok they just filed like a stop order to like stop TikTok from being banned. TikTok may be on its way out on I think January 16th or something like that.
They ain't gonna let TikTok go.
I don't know.
TikTok make too much money.
That's my thing too. But
one of them billionaires got to swoop this up and be like, "Hey, let's keep this up."
That's the only way. Right now, they did file an injunction. From what I remember, they filed an injunction, and the judge said, The judge denied the injunction. So right now, it's on its way out. I did read that.
Wow.
This week, so we'll keep you posted about that because obviously a lot of student athletes also utilize TikTok to generate revenue. A lot of content creators, because that's essentially what they are. But that's a whole other conversation in itself. That's gonna be interesting if in fact TikTok is done for. But nonetheless, as part of the deal, that's what they have to do. Shouts to those football players. It's SeatGeek. They've been busy.
Yeah, SeatGeek. What up, though?
What up, SeatGeek?
SeatGeek, look, when I just feel like whoever got their eyes to the streets, every brand should have somebody that's like on the ground, like trying to understand NIL, trying to understand how it can benefit them. But the brands that got it, they running with it.
No, that's a fact.
They running with it for sure. Like right now, we're seeing the refinement of NIL. Like it's gonna be refined to it. Like, yeah. Y'all better get y'all pitch decks together now. Student athletes, come on.
They are like they on it, and we're gonna talk about how much they on it in a little bit. But
Yes.
these students are not. They're not playing. All jokes aside, they're not playing around.
Yeah. When y'all hear
They're
that
advanced.
BYU deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we moving along to the next. Y'all know, y'all seen it yesterday. Travis Hunter on the Heisman. Do the Heisman on that. Okay. But before his Heisman Trophy campaign, Travis Hunter signed a deal with Adidas.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how Nike let that happen.
He was out here flexing. Look, he got the Adidas stripes on the Cuban link.
On the Cuban link. Yeah.
Okay.
I said, yeah.
Okay, the Colorado two-way star joining forces with Adidas as the company's next-gen roster, the company announced, okay? To celebrate the partnership, Adidas launched a line of limited edition apparel celebrating Hunter after his standout 2024 season, which earned him the Heisman Trophy. Okay? That's crazy. He won yesterday. And the I wish I would have showed y'all, but like the votes, he was like surpassing everybody. I don't think, who was the next closest? He had like 306 votes. And the next person was like 100 something. So they was really messing with Hunter this year. Okay? Hunter is the second Heisman finalist to sign with the Adidas. Miami quarterback Cam Ward did so earlier this year, becoming the first college player to sign an NIL deal with the company. Okay. They will both be honored this weekend ahead. Well, the ceremony happened, so they were honored this weekend. Working with Adidas is a special opportunity for me and something that I'm really excited about as I look ahead to what's next, Hunter said in a statement. The partners they currently have are top tier with some of the best young guys like me. I'm pumped to join the three stripes as we continue pushing the boundaries of the sport we all love. Travis Hunter has also secured NIL deals with NerdWallet, United Airlines, JLab, and Celsius during the 2024 season. And he also hosts a podcast through his partnership with Overtime. That's fire. And last, he's also one of the college athletes on the highly anticipated EA Sports College Football 25 video game. Okay? This boy has had a year.
Yeah, he has. And he ain't done.
He is not. People was clowning him for wearing onesies. And now he about to wear that onesie with his Heisman Trophy in his hand. Okay? Be you, y'all. Kids out there, be your most authentic self. Don't let nobody try to change. Because Travis, he one of one. He is one of one. Okay? Nike, how y'all let this happen?
That's all I thought. Like, how did that happen?
Nike, retarded. Travis Hunter, he gives me like, what's the sprinter's name? Noah Lyles. He gives me Noah Lyles. He gives me Noah energy. Like, I know I'm the ish. I'm him. Okay.
He gives that, but then he's also very what's the word? I guess it goes back to what you're saying, very much himself. Like on the field, he moves like he's him, but off the field, like he's very he's himself. He's himself. Seems like a very well-mannered young man, has his head on straight.
Yeah.
And wants to be the best. I mean, he's also talked about he's trying to surpass Deion Sanders. He said he wants to be better than Deion. And in order to be great, you gotta want to beat the greatest, one of the greatest. And I think that it's great that he's inspired to do that. And I know Deion wants him to do that. right? Like he's pushing him to be that great. So yeah, nah, like he's definitely him, and he's very much himself off the field. So I love that.
Love it. Keep doing your thing, Travis Hunter, and again, congratulations for winning the Heisman. You the Heisman on that who? Okay.
All right. BYU. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
AJ how you pronounce his last name?
Dibontes? Something like that?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time when that news broke this week, that was the first time I heard about him. And he had to choose what school he was going to, and the fact that he was able to do that on ESPN is big time. They brought him up to ESPN to choose what school he was going to between BYU, UNC, and Kansas. And he chose BYU.
He chose BYU over the Blue Bloods. That's crazy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But the Mormons is out here giving cashing out. They.
Yo, he's the number 1 ranked high school player of the 2025 class. And BYU offered this man close to $7 million. That's what's being reported.
Yes. $7 million for an NIL deal. $7 million, y'all. $7 million. $7 million. Okay.
And it's important to note that he's probably, if in fact he is who they're saying he is, he's not staying on 4. They're saying he may be one and done.
Correct.
So it's a possibility they pay this man $7 million for a year.
Correct.
Which speaks to where we're at with college basketball. Well, just college sports in general. People are signing for $7 million.
Yeah.
That's life-changing money.
What does that tell you? Look, parents.
Yeah, what it tells you is this is not college hoops anymore. I need everybody to understand that.
It's professional college.
We have GMs. We just come on. We have general managers of colleges now.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, it's not. It's professional college.
This is professional, collegiate, whatever. We're gonna combine sports. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is crazy, but in a beautiful way. $7 million is life-changing money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the reason why he signed with BYU is because last April, BYU announced a new coach. And they hired Kevin Young, who was an assistant coach with the Sixers and the Suns from 2016 to 2024. AJ made it clear that he signed with them because of him and because he has aspirations of going to the NBA, and he understood Kevin's connections with those players. So that's smart, right? Like Kevin Young, he is one of the most respected assistant coaches in the NBA. He has worked with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid. He's worked with a lot of different players and seems to know, what he's doing. And yeah, AJ said a lot stood out during my visit. Obviously, Coach Young's there. My ultimate goal is to get to the NBA. He coached my favorite player of all time, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
He also added that the Cougars were full of staff members with NBA experience.
So this is a business. It makes sense now why he chose BYU. Like
it doesn't matter. All right, cool, UNC. Like, all right, cool. But I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking in the future, and they've worked with the best. I want to be the best. I'm going to the school. Yeah, 7 what?
7 what? Yes, 7 what?
He said Blue Bloods and Nike took the L.
That's a fact, Spin Ducks. Facts. Yes, $7 million for NIL deals. Man,
life-changing money right there.
Ooh, that's that's just life trajectory changing money. Like, my goodness.
But I like the thinking behind why he chose.
Yeah, because
That goes to show like their mindset. And when I say they, I'm talking about student athletes, is different.
Yeah.
Completely different. They deserve a round of applause. No, I'm dead serious.
No, you're right.
Yeah, they deserve a round of applause because they don't play around. They're not playing with their money. They're not playing with their future.
Yeah.
They're not doing none of that. And it really is exciting to see that.
Yes. Because we're starting to see the change of the mindset. Like, that's the most important thing right here. This is why this show exists, because we want to mold minds. Because moving forward, you can change your family's life. You
Generational, you're literally make generational wealth is happening. $7 million is not chump change. $7 million is not chump change.
Right.
That is life. That is a generation of change there. So this is big. And then we're seeing the dismantling of the NCAA. College sports is different.
It's transforming.
It is transforming right before our eyes, literally. You got private equity firms wanting to get involved or get in bed with universities. You got people thinking about buying teams.
Yep, college teams.
We've covered that.
Correct.
You have, like we said, general managers of universities now.
Yes.
At this point, it's starting to look like they are molding these young men and women to become professionals, so that when they get on a professional stage, they've already been exposed to these things. They're already equipped. Spendoc asks, will agents now start reaching out to middle and high school student athletes? I'm sure it's already happening, but NIL is creating generational wealth for families and people. Yes.
Correct.
They are. Depending on the state, depending on what the state allows. Yeah, they're already reaching out. And so, yeah, it's like a domino effect, because now high school student athletes are learning about business much earlier.
Correct.
Way earlier. So
correct. And this is why we was at Brooklyn Law and Tech High School 2 years ago talking to the student athletes at the PSAL.
And shouts to Mike for allowing us to do that.
Yes.
And talk to them and introduce them to NIL.
Correct. This information should be going to every high school student right now. Like, you can set up a plan for yourself, like, at this moment, like, right? Like, if you're in 7th grade, 6th grade, like right now, you should be planning with your family. Like, if you really want to get with this NIL, because it's not going anywhere, all you have to do is create a 5-year plan. 5-year plan. Let's create the 5-year plan right now. When you're in 9th, when you're in 8th grade, 5-year plan. 7th grade, what does that look like for you? Knowing how to vet teams also. What questions are you asking these college coaches? Do y'all know what questions to ask parents? What questions are you asking? Does your kid fit the style of play that the coach is implementing? What the campus look like? What the facilities look like? Parents, now y'all got to start doing your DD and due diligence. What is it going to take? Because if y'all want to really get to the bag, get to Division I, get to scholarship, the planning has to be put in place now. It has to be put in place now. Not when they are juniors in high school and we want to get a scholarship. No, it's late. It's already late. You know how many times parents have come to me when their kids are already juniors in high school talking about I want them to go D1. We should have had this conversation when your child was in 8th grade. It's too late now. Like, emergency cases, okay. But it's too late. Put the plan in place. And if y'all need help with that, that's what we're here for. Consultancy firm, 21 titles. We are helping people behind the scenes. What does that look like for you? Also, too, don't come on here talking about you want NIL and your academics ain't right. Because that's an easy no for me. I want NIL. Give me your report card. What's your report card look like?
Yeah, the stories we've been hearing, like, yeah.
It's getting crazy.
It's
okay?
getting crazy, and while we just champion these kids, and they're not kids, they're young adults, obviously, for being business minded. There's also, some young adults that feel entitled when you haven't put the work in. And that's essentially what Brittany was saying. Like, you have to put the work in to perform. Some young adults come into college or speak to people similar to us or just coaches and talk about, I want to get NIL, how could you give me NIL deals? And not put in the work. So you have to be honest with yourself when planning, like Brittany said. You have to be honest with yourself, and there's going to be people around you that may not keep it real with you.
Right.
They may not. But you have to be honest with yourself, and you're going to have to put in the time and effort necessary to take your career to the next level, whether that be on the floor or off the floor, because opportunities that present themselves may not happen, in the realm of basketball.
Right.
Basketball may just be the engine.
Correct.
But so many different opportunities can come from this. I mean,
absolutely.
Your future career can come from this.
Right.
Right. Like, everybody's not going to play basketball. There's limited amount of spots both in the NBA and the WNBA. Correct. Everybody is not going to make it. So you have to build those relationships now, so that you can build the future you want and how you see it, because it may not involve basketball, and that's okay.
Facts.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about, who did we speak about before doing that? Deja Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
She's an example. I mean, granted, Deja's having a better season in comparison to last season, but we're watching her set herself up to do broadcasting while possibly hooping next year. Same thing with Aaliyah Boston. Like, we've seen these things happen because you have to set your future up. So,
correct. In plain sight, there's no more this, like, also another point to this show is because we don't want to hear 30 for 30 broke no more. Like, we tired of hearing that. We tired of hearing us spiraling into the same patterns, like, after we're done. We have the resources. We have everything that we need now to be better. Like, nobody wants to hear that no more. Okay? Like, it is time for us to take the responsibility and move forward and progress and get better. Like, there's no reason why any of these kids who've received NIL deals, there's no reason we should hear them down the line from now struggling. There's no reason. They should not be struggling if they were advised correctly, right? Like, you got to make sure there are fail-safes that are put in place, right? Especially now since we got this money. Y'all got to take financial literacy courses, because we know that if you don't have the education, it don't matter how much money you get. Like, you're going to spend it all if you're not educated about it. you're gonna wind up in the same cycle again if you're not educated about it. Okay, like we hear it all the time. Those people that win the lottery and make that money, 2 years down the line, that money done expired. They back right in the same. They right back in the same situation it was before they hit the lottery. Come on. All right, so like we passionate about that. We don't want to hear that no more. So we doing better. Okay, but
Definitely
BYU.
spend doc. That's to spend doc, and then also Jen J. Thank you for tapping in with us, and
Absolutely.
giving your 2 cents about the conversation.
Yes, we love feedback.
Yes, absolutely. So, shouts to BYU. Shouts to AJ. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does next year. But yeah,
Yeah.
moving on.
Mhm.
We talked about Notre Dame earlier beating UConn and Hannah Hidalgo's performance. Um, but she also is a part of the NIL roster of Red Bull. Now I know, listen, Brittany is a health consultant. Let me just say, Brittany is a health consultant. If you are a parent or you know a student athlete, right? Brittany is here to help because she wants you to perform at your highest level. And I am excited for Hannah Hidalgo. She has had an amazing start to her sophomore season.
Right.
She has been putting belt to behind. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Since last season, it hasn't taken her foot off the gas at all.
Right.
She has been running numbers up, and I have no doubt that NIL deals are going to continue to knock on her door and her windows and everything else for the rest of this season. So yeah, she signed with NIL this week, and Red Bull already has Michaela Williams of LSU and Malaysia Fuwali on their roster. So she's in good company over at Red Bull. The reason why I said Brittany is a health consultant, because Red Bull is not the greatest. That's what she's about to tell us. Because I can read Brittany's mind. You know, I can read Brittany's mind. And we've known each other for a very long time. So I already know. Like, we're very happy for Hannah. This is amazing. We don't know the details of the deal, how much she's getting paid and all of that. I like the rollout. They had Enrique come talk to her while she was like doing like she was a part of the Red Bull campaign. It looked like she was doing a commercial. Enrique tapped in with her.
Mm.
Um,
I like that.
yeah, it was dope. Again, the Notre Dame connection, the guards is there, but Red Bull, yeah. I'll let you have it, Brittany. I don't know if you got to say anything about Red Bull.
Look, Red Bull, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Get this out your diet right now. These power drinks are terrible for your heart, yo. Terrible. Terrible. Okay? First and foremost, just a quick like story. This lady who was my coach at one point, she is now a coach at a Division I program. Okay? She used to drink Red Bulls. Okay? At halftime during games. And I used to be like, you're wild. You're wild. For energy, y'all, if y'all want energy, eat a date at halftime. Eat a couple of dates. Eat a piece of fruit. Coconut water, hydration. Electrolytes. Y'all don't need Red Bull. Y'all don't need these menacing energy drinks. They are full of chemicals and artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are terrible for you. Okay? I'll just leave it at that.
Well, there you have it. But congratulations to Hannah Hidalgo. Again, she's gonna be hitting the head with so many NIL deals this year,
Yeah,
just because of how she's been performing since last year. So,
facts.
so Hannah.
Shouts to Hannah Hidalgo.
Moving on, and I guess we could just piggyback off of what we just talked about with AJ and the $7 million at BYU, and just the college sports scene and landscape changing radically. This week, we heard that student athletes of the landmark case House versus the NCAA are now requesting a college players association. This is major because a players association is essentially a union. So this again ties in with the idea of college sports no longer just being amateur. It's not amateurism. It's not amateur sports anymore. Um, these students want more. They want more. They expect more. They want to be protected. They want to make sure that they're being heard, and they know that with having a players association, they can make sure certain things are in place, um, and
Right.
to better the future of future student athletes. So, if you didn't know, again, the House versus NCAA um, case was settled, and there was a proposal that could allow schools to share millions of dollars in revenue with Division I college athletes starting next year. But the student athletes that are plaintiffs in this case, they don't think that's enough. So
Hmm.
the settlement proposal, which combines 3 class action lawsuits against the NCAA and Power 5 conferences, is up for final approval in April. What could result is a $2.8 billion award in damages to players who couldn't earn money for NIL deals before 2021. It would allow every D1 school to share a portion of revenue with all its players, a sum that will begin at $20.5 million and increase annually over the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So then on December 2nd, 3 class representatives, ASU swimmer Grant House, TCU basketball player Sedona Prince, and then Stanford soccer player Nia Harrison wrote a letter to Northern District of California asking to establish a players association.
Hmm.
The players praised the settlement terms, which is the money I just talked about, but said their own lawyers are limited in their ability to effectuate the changes we intended to make in college athletics. Without independent formal representation separate from schools or their affiliations, athletes will inevitably remain in a vulnerable position, perpetuating the cycle of inequity and paving the way for continued litigation. And that's what the players are saying.
Hmm.
So they're not playing around. The players suggested athletes.org, which I feel like we have talked about before, probably last year or the year before that, um, which is one of several groups attempting to organize college athletes um, to form the Players Association. More than 4,000 athletes have signed up to work with athletes.org, which has chapters across the country and has begun helping athletes with NIL contracts and verifying agents according to the letter. So if you are a parent or anybody listening who may be interested in like getting more information um, about NIL, this is one of the places I think you should start, athletes.org. Check it out. Um, so yeah, it's unclear whether the judge of this case is actually going to allow the players, or rather, yeah, allow sports or student athletes to create these organizations. But I think this is a great idea. And again, it just speaks to just the forward thinking of these student athletes, and they're not playing around. They're
Right.
not playing around.
Yeah. I mean, this makes sense to have some type of independent entity that
Yeah.
can be like a checks and balances for what's going on, because there needs to be some type of yeah, like I agree. If we don't have some type of like body to represent them, these schools could get away what they want to do
Hmm.
because they ain't got nobody like coming in and kind of policing.
Checking them. Same thing with the
Mm-hmm.
NCAA.
Yeah.
So
And that's it's just Sedona. Sedona is in the middle of this. Like,
Sedona been in a lot of like landmark pieces in
yeah,
like the changing of college athletics. Yeah,
that's a fact.
I mean she been here for mad long.
7 years.
Sedona been in school for mad long, so that's no slight. It's just facts. It's fact. But no, shouts to the student athletes. They're not playing around. So they get to unionize. We're gonna create a union.
Yeah, they out here doing what they
They're
need
gonna have
to
the
do.
NCAA in the pits of hell. They already have the NCAA in the pits of hell.
They sure do.
They're
They
giving the NCAA a run for their money. They've never seen something like this happen.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
This is the first. And I don't feel bad for them. NCAA,
No,
it's time
no.
because y'all been
Y'all been
terror.
eating off
Yeah,
everybody for so long.
y'all been terrorizing student athletes for forever. So
Every
forever.
so shouts to the student athletes. I love to see it. We'll
Facts.
keep y'all posted about that.
Absolutely. That was the end of our NIL news. Again, please make sure that you're following us on all social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Please subscribe. Thank you. Moving on to tech news. Oh my goodness. If y'all didn't see this week, OpenAI whistleblower was found dead in their San Francisco apartment in an apparent suicide. Okay? Yeah, I know Chat GPT and all this AI stuff has been the talk of the town for like the past few years. AI. They talking about AI is the next catalyst to kind of change the trajectory of what's going on in the world right now. But this is an eye-opening, right? Sashir Balaji, a former OpenAI researcher of 4 years, was found dead in his San Francisco apartment on November 26, according to multiple reports. He was only 26 years old. Balaji had recently criticized OpenAI over how the startup collects data from the internet to train its AI models. One of his jobs at OpenAI was to gather information for the development of the company's powerful GPT-4 AI model. In October, Balaji published an essay on his personal website that raised questions about what is considered fair use and whether it can apply to the training data OpenAI used for its popular ChatGPT model. Okay? While generative models rarely produce outputs that are substantially similar to any of their training inputs, the process of training a generative model involves making copies of copyrighted data, Balaji wrote. If these copies are unauthorized, this could potentially be considered copyright infringement, depending on whether or not the specific use of the model qualifies as fair use, because fair use is determined on a case-by-case basis. No broad statement can be made about when generative AI qualifies for fair use. Okay? OpenAI faces multiple lawsuits at the moment that accuse the company of copyright infringement. The New York Times sued OpenAI last year, accusing the startup and Microsoft of unlawful use of the Times' work to create artificial intelligence projects that compete with it. Wow.
We covered that.
We did.
We covered that. OpenAI, they've been wilding. But go ahead.
Yeah. And lastly, they said in an interview with Times that was published in October, Balaji said chatbots like ChatGPT are stripping away the commercial value of people's work and services.
We've covered OpenAI from its inception up until now. And when we did first talk about it, we talked about how it would take artists' works
Mm-hmm.
and spit it out. Didn't ask the artist if they can utilize their work. That is copyright infringement.
Right.
Like it's been a ongoing thing. The U.S. Copyright Office. We also talked about how they're not trying. They are catching up with the times. Um, with the blow up of AI, like you said, the
Yeah.
laws have to change to match with the times to make sure that creatives are protected.
Yeah.
And first of all, rest in peace to that young man. That's what I should have started with. Um, but we've been seeing a lot of in the tech industry, in the health industry, you know, with healthcare, United
Mm.
Healthcare, the CEO. It's a
Mm.
lot of listen, they I don't want to make it sound like a conspiracy theory theorist pod. It's just it these things just make you go, these things make you wonder and think. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate what happened to this young man. And literally, like, for real, prayers to his family. Um but yeah, open AI, they've been doing some foul stuff, and then we heard the CEO of OpenAI this week is also giving $1 million to Trump's fund.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just things that make you think, when you're paying attention to what's happening. So, um, that's all I got. OpenAI does have a bunch of lawsuits happening right now. California also has, been trying to figure out their laws when it comes to AI, and it's a lot going on in the tech sector when it comes to AI and copyright. It's a
Yeah.
lot happening right now with AI.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's all I got. Prayers to that man's family.
Prayers. Prayers
That's
up.
that.
Prayers up. Okay, moving along. Yeah, I know we are also investors and we love to talk about investing. So,
Yes.
some investing news. There have been some annual changes to the NASDAQ 100 index. Y'all know that we've been talking about MicroStrategy over here for the longest, and happy to announce that MicroStrategy is one of the companies that has been added to the NASDAQ 100. Okay? The following three companies will be added to the index: Palantir Technologies, MicroStrategy Incorporated, and Axon Enterprises. Okay? The NASDAQ 100 index is comprised of the 100 of the largest non-financials companies listed on the NASDAQ stock market, and it dates back to January 1985, okay, when it was launched, along with the NASDAQ Financial 100 index, which is comprised of the 100 of the largest financial products, such as options, futures, and funds. Okay? The NASDAQ 100 is reconstituted each year in December, time to coincide with the quadruple witch expiration. Quadruple witch, I haven't heard that in a long time. That's the come up series right there. I learned that
No, that's what
from
to say.
Mark Monroe.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And as a result of this reconstitution, the following three companies will be removed. Get out of here, Moderna. Move out the way. Super Microcomputer and Illumina are the three companies that have been replaced. All right. So honestly, would love to invite y'all to watch Market Mondays with EIL and Ian Dunlap. Okay, because that's how I've been getting all my investing knowledge and just learning from them every week. They've been doing Market Mondays since 2020.
Yes. And I have had to go back and watch the come up series. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, those
yeah,
two, those two.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Those two have taught us. Okay, so we just passing the alley oop. the Come Up series with Mark Monroe and Jolin GC, and also EYL, Market Mondays with Ian Dunlap. So if you want some investing, go over there. Okay. Moving on. Slam Dunk. Disney, ESPN, and the NBA present Dunk the Halls on Christmas Day. Okay. I would like to show you guys the commercial. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Here we go.
Santa?
Hope you enjoy the game! There you go in. Clemson. KD. I got you, bro. Yes, sir.
Best Christmas ever.
Merry Christmas. Enjoy the day, all right? Merry Christmas, bro.
All right. That was the commercial.
They better do something. We just reported how the numbers are down, and and the NFL is competing with the NBA this year. The NFL is going to have Mariah Carey and Beyonce perform on Christmas Day at these games. I don't watch football like that. But when I heard that, I'm like, okay, the NFL is about to give the NBA a run for its money. I love the commercial. I can't wait to see the numbers for viewership. Because naturally, I think they're going to compare the numbers for the NFL and then the NBA that day.
Facts. Absolutely. They have to.
They are.
And to be quite honest, the NFL, they grimy because they don't do this. Like, this is, the NFL never does this on Christmas Day. So, like.
That's why I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So they trying to compete with the NBA, and that's throw them bows. They competing for the TV ratings, okay? But Disney, ESPN, and the NBA are teaming up to present Dunk the Halls, the first real-time animated NBA game using Sony's Beyond Sports technology on Christmas Day 2024. The New York Knicks, led by Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, hosts the San Antonio Spurs and Wemby and Chris Paul. Okay? Dunk the Halls were live air across Africa on ESPN2. That's fire. On December 25th at, what is that time? I don't know. 1900? What's 1900? I'm terrible. That's 7 o'clock? Yes, that's 7 o'clock. This special marks the first ever animated presentation of an NBA game. Yeah. The virtual live creation of the Spurs-Knicks game will be set on an iconic Main Street, USA in Magic Kingdom Park as the teams play while Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Pluto, Goofy, and Chip and Dale cheer them on. Okay. You know what? This is not off because the NFL did something similar this year where they had an animated game similar, analogous to this, the same thing. So they both trying to test it out to see what this is, okay? But yeah, Dunk the Halls, Christmas Day. We here.
So we'll keep y'all posted about that. Shouts to the NBA? Yeah, shouts to the NBA.
I guess. Mm-hmm. Shout outs to the MNBA, okay?
Yeah.
Because I know they don't like that.
They don't. The MNBA.
The MNBA, yeah, okay. But that wraps up for tech news, business, whatever, and we moving on to coaching, okay? This is fire because this is another, just instance of the brands keeping their ears to the streets, okay? Rising hip-hop star Lay Banks joins Team Under Armour. Under Armour is making bold moves into the cultural space with its latest partnership signing hip-hop sensation Lay Banks, Known for her electrifying stage presence, fearless fashion, and genre-defying sound, Lay embodies the type of artist Under Armour represents: confident, versatile, and relentlessly authentic. This partnership is a groundbreaking milestone for both Lay and Under Armour, as she becomes the first female music artist to sign with the brand. By blending music, fashion, and performance, Lay's collaboration elevates Under Armour's position as an influential force at the intersection of culture and sport. This move aligns with the brand's legacy of pushing boundaries and opens new avenues for Under Armour to connect with a dynamic and diverse generation of creators, athletes, and fans. Through this partnership, Under Armour aims to inspire a new generation of creators, athletes, and artists to embrace confidence, authenticity, and self-expression. Lay's dynamic style, relentless work ethic, and unapologetic authenticity reflects the brand's commitment to pushing boundaries, not just in fashion, but in mindset and in attitude. I don't see nothing wrong with this.
No, this is different. This is exciting. The only other time we've seen this, and I don't even know if a lot of people know this, we covered this, I feel like almost 2 years ago, but Golden State actually has an entertainment sector.
Correct. Yeah.
Golden State has an entertainment sector where they're signing music artists. They're signing artists to a label. Golden State has a label.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me personally, that was the first time I saw that intersection between sports and music, like on a, I don't want to say on a real level, because there's always been a relationship with sports and music,
Right.
but in a more tangible form. Like they're signing artists to Golden State Entertainment, and now we see Under Armour stepping into that same space, and really making that relationship more tangible. Like we knew there was always a relationship, but now we really see it because they signed in their first artist.
Thanks.
Lay Banks, she's from Philly. I think she's like 20 years old. I want to give a shout out to her because I think it takes a lot of guts to sign with a company that's never entered into the music space, and for you to be the first to do it,
Right.
means that you have a lot of trust in them to really kind of help you carve your journey out in music. So
Right.
this is a big deal. I suspect other companies will be doing the same. Won't be surprised if Nike ends up having an entertainment company, and Adidas. But this does seem to be a trend, and
Right.
I'm gonna keep my eye on that because I do want to see how they promote her,
Right.
and then like what relationships Under Armour has with individuals in the entertainment space, in the music space. So this is interesting. This is historical, and I'm very interested to see. And then also this creates an avenue for athletes to then veer into the lane of music, because some of these athletes, they're talented. They are talented. They do all type of different things. You know, some of them are poets. Some of them, can sing.
Correct.
So this is also a lane for Under Armour to sign athletes that already have that talent.
Yeah.
So so many different things they could do. So I'm excited to see.
I mean, I think this is innovative and this is pioneering. So I would love to see how Lay Banks continues to elevate her brand with this partnership. So very excited to see this.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we saw Jalen Brown. We reported on his fashion line 714 performance. He actually dropped the line on Thursday, and he wore the apparel to the game. Um, but this is just a big deal. Like, again, Jaylen Brown, brilliant guy. Um, and he created his own apparel line. If you don't know, 714 Performance, that's his brand. Go check out the pieces, but just wanted to send a congratulations his way.
He's trying to do something different.
For sure.
So I commend it. I commend anybody who's trying to carve out their own lane, do something innovative, something new, something fresh. So shout out to Jaylen Brown.
That's Jaylen Brown. And last but not least, what I did see was Jadakiss' son. His name is J1 on Twitter. He was at Rolling Loud. He was golfing. And he announced that Kiss Cafe actually was in collaboration with Rolling Loud and then Eastside Golf. And we talked about that activation a few weeks ago. This was a first of its kind for Rolling Loud as well, to partner with Eastside Golf, which is, if you don't know, like just a major player in golf and helping melanated people learn about golf.
Right.
But they have a unique way of blending golf and then also culture with it. And honestly speaking, they just make it cool. They make it look cool. They make it look fly. And they've been partnering with quite a few people, including HBCUs that we have spoken about before. But yeah, I thought that was fire. Kiss Cafe is the coffee brand of Jadakiss, and they were serving coffee while golfing at the activation. That's fire. So wanted to give a shout out to Jadakiss and Eastside Golf and Rolling Loud for that.
Y'all already know how we feel about Eastside Golf. Those black men are getting the youth excited about golf. And, I mean, they're a golf apparel brand. Like, I will wear my Eastside Golf hoodie anywhere I go because it's fire.
It's fire, too. Yeah, it's their merch is fire. They've partnered with all type of athletes as well.
Yeah.
It's just a really dope brand, and you should definitely check them out. That's amazing.
Big facts.
What I did forget to mention is Telfar. Wait, last week we talked about James Dolan. James Dolan is a nasty player.
Right.
James Dolan,
his vendor war.
was suing the people outside of the Garden that are selling knockoff merch, Knicks jerseys and stuff or merch, and Rangers knockoffs merch. But then we find out on Twitter that Telfar is collaborating with the people outside.
The bootleggers, yes.
Yeah, they collaborating with the bootleggers and giving them real merch to sell. But that's how you create community, because that's how you keep money circulating.
That's a fact. The fact that he had somebody drop off real bags to the dudes,
to the bootleggers.
Yeah, y'all gonna sell these real bags. Here you go. Y'all don't need to sell the cheap stuff. I'm gonna give you real product.
I'm gonna give you the real product, because all that may do is have those people be like, "Yo, I want another bag."
Right.
And then maybe they create that relationship with the bootlegger to hire the bootleggers.
The bootleggers is that they're on the streets.
They on the streets. James Dolan, take notes.
Take notes, James Dolan.
They just filed, and I think New York City District, they filed against those bootleggers last week. We reported on this.
Yeah, the James
to get them locked up.
Yeah.
This is amazing, but it's not far-fetched for Telfar, because they've just been about community, and I love it. They do the unthinkable, and they do the things that no other company is willing to do.
Nope.
Which makes them one of the most relatable companies.
Cause you think
companies.
You think Gucci going down there supplying the bootleg with some free merch?
No, we just talked about how Gucci's suing too.
With some real, no, it's not happening.
Gucci suing, all y'all suing. Y'all need to hire them bootleggers.
Right. That's a fact.
Get that merch off you. Break them bootleggers off with some.
Yo, they your boots on the ground, dog. Boots on the ground.
Who thinks about that? Yo, I'm gonna give y'all a real product.
Right.
I'm gonna give y'all a real product to sell. Don't even worry about it. All that cheap stuff, that fake stuff, I'm gonna give you the real stuff to sell. You put money in those people's pockets.
Right.
That's what I mean by like creating community. You put money in people's pockets.
Right. That's like Ian Dunlap when he says, "If I made you money, put yes in the chat."
Put yes in the chat.
Ooh. And then D for bootleggers, that's fire.
Yeah. I don't know. But like so far, they just put a spin on. They put a twist on everything.
Yeah.
They put a twist on everything. We talked about it. How they partnered. What was it? What was the big discount? Rainbow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They do the work. They do the things no other company, no other fashion brand would do. Which makes them like that brand.
Thanks.
So shouts to Telfar. James Dolan, take notes, yo. He don't care though. James Dolan is stuck in his ways. And he's not necessarily wrong for this, but James Dolan's going to James Dolan. So that's our show for tonight.
That's it. Thank you guys again for chopping it up with us as usual. We love the engagement. We love to come here and chop it up with the community. So we appreciate y'all as always. As usual, please just follow us. This helps us combat the algorithms. Okay, so please just follow us on social media. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. If you're on Twitter, follow us. Instagram, follow us. If you're on LinkedIn, follow us. Okay, we are here everywhere, and we ain't going nowhere. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 83. This is 21 Titles. We're here to recap the weekly happenings in the business of sports. Please follow our colleagues at the 9450 also. We collab with them and do a podcast over there called Beyond the 9450. Our recent podcast episode just dropped earlier this week. So tap in, tune into that, and let us know your thoughts. And y'all, we're going to see y'all before Christmas next week. So love y'all. Hope y'all got some value for this episode this week, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.